The collapse of civilization is not a sudden, catastrophic event marked by fireworks and finality. It's not the dramatic spectacle that movies or history books often depict. Instead, it unfolds gradually, almost invisibly at first, like a piece of fruit left on a windowsill, slowly withering under the relentless heat of the sun. The rot starts small, barely noticeable. A lie told for convenience. A principle sacrificed for profit. A moment of weakness disguised as compassion. And then, piece by piece, the entire structure begins to erode. Not with screams, but with silence. Not with war, but with weariness. Empires do not disintegrate overnight. They decay incrementally, their strength hollowed from within by years of unchecked indulgence and moral decay. History is littered with examples, but none are as poetic and tragic as Rome. Rome did not fall simply because of one weak emperor or one decisive battle. It fell over time, decades, even centuries, as discipline gave way to decadence, courage gave way to comfort, and the values that once demanded greatness were replaced by a culture obsessed with ease, distraction, and consumption. The sword was traded for the spoon. Honor was traded for entertainment. What made Rome powerful was no longer seen as necessary, and so it vanished. The uncomfortable truth is that we are no different today. The modern world, with all its technological miracles and material comforts, is on the same trajectory. We mistake convenience for progress. We embrace lies that feel good rather than truths that hurt. We worship comfort and resent hardship. And in doing so, we are walking the same slow, silent path toward collapse. Not because we are cursed, but because we are repeating the same old mistakes thinking this time will be different. Comfort has become the most seductive and dangerous drug in modern civilization. It's not administered through a syringe, but through endless screens, subscription services, processed food, and the false promise that life should always be easy. Progress has become the needly tool that once pointed us toward meaning, now hijacked to deliver quick dopamine hits in the form of likes, entertainment, fast shipping, and algorithmic validation. We no longer seek to grow stronger, wiser, or more virtuous. Instead, we chase what feels good now. We self-medicate with convenience, and over time, we build a life so numb that we forget what real vitality feels like. This anesthetic of ease creeps into every corner of our being. The body still functions walking, speaking, scrolling, but the soul has flatlined. It's the quiet death of something sacred and irreplaceable. We might still laugh, but it's hollow. We might still work, but it's mechanical. We start mistaking motion for meaning. We start mistaking the virtual for the real. We build entire lives around digital profiles, online personas, and filtered realities, believing that friends who double tap our pictures can replace the warmth of eye contact, a deep conversation, or shared hardship. Purpose is quietly exiled. In its place, we worship productivity not in the ancient sense of building something noble, but in the shallow pursuit of metrics and busyness. We idolize the hustle, but we've forgotten what we're hustling for. We sacrifice our depth for efficiency, our wisdom for speed. And in this race, toward more, faster, easier, we dare to call this living. But it's not life. It's a high-functioning sleepwalk through a digital maze, carefully engineered to keep us too comfortable to question, too distracted to rebel, and too numb to feel what we've truly lost. You were not made for sedation. You were not crafted to drift silently through existence with eyes glazed and spirit dulled. You were not born to be calm, quiet, and compliant in a world that profits from your passivity. There's something ancient and unbreakable buried inside you, a fire that refuses to be extinguished. It's not just ambition. It's not just hunger. It's a divine rage, a holy resistance to the hollow life being sold to you. It's the sacred storm inside your chest that rises every time you feel the weight of a life unlived. You feel it in moments of silence when the noise finally fades. It's the restlessness you can't explain, the discontent with normal, the unease when everyone tells you you should be grateful, but your soul whispers, there's more. That fire is your birthright. And yet, the world trains you to smother it, to take the easy way, to sit down, shut up, and settle for less. Every time you deny that storm within, every time you silence your fire to fit in or avoid discomfort, something in you shrinks. The boundaries of your being pull inward. And you feel it, don't you? That quiet, invisible death But when you face the discomfort head on, when you lean into the fire instead of away from it, everything changes. The pain becomes sacred. The suffering becomes a signal. And in those moments of friction and fight, you come alive. You remember who you are. You remember that you were made not to survive, but to burn brightly, not to coast, but to conquer. You remember that discomfort isn't the enemy. It's the invitation to awaken, to rise, and to reclaim the wild, unshakable soul that was never meant to be tamed. Most people never really live. They exist in a state of pause, holding their breath, waiting for life to begin without realizing it's already happening all around them. They wait for Friday, as if 5 days of their life are disposable. They wait for summer, thinking joy is seasonal. They wait for love, as if connection and intimacy are external events rather than choices they can cultivate. They wait to be ready, as if readiness is a gift someone else will grant them. And in that waiting, years disappear, dreams expire, passions fade. The flame they once carried slowly dims until it's nothing but smoke. But you're different. You've seen the damage that delay can cause. You've felt the aching emptiness that comes from postponing your power. You've been haunted by the what-ifs that echo through the corridors of an unlived life. You've learned maybe the hard way that waiting is its own form of death. That hesitation robs you not just of time, but of identity. It chips away at who you could have become. And now, you're done waiting. You've crossed that invisible line between dreaming and doing. You've made a quiet promise to yourself: no more shrinking. No more deferring your destiny for comfort, approval, or false security. You've tasted the bitterness of regret, and you've decided you'd rather choke on effort than starve on excuses. The cost of inaction is no longer acceptable. You've outgrown your cage. You're ready to move forward, not when it's perfect, not when it's safe, but now, because you understand that life won't wait for you. And finally, neither will you. The world doesn't need more people who play it safe. It's already overflowing with those who dim their light to fit in, who follow the script handed to them by others, who settle for a version of life that feels manageable rather than meaningful. Playing it safe might feel secure, but it also builds a prison. Safety becomes the excuse, the shield, the quiet killer of dreams. And yet, society teaches us to play small, to choose the predictable path, to color inside the lines, to be agreeable rather than alive. But what the world truly needs are people on fire, people whose eyes burn with purpose, whose hearts beat in rhythm with something far bigger than themselves. People who are so grounded in their why that no amount of rejection, ridicule, or resistance can shake them. People who wake up with fire in their belly knot, because life is easy, but because their mission is worth the fight. They don't seek comfort, they seek clarity. They don't crave approval, they crave alignment. These people would rather be misunderstood for living their truth than be celebrated for wearing a mask. They've made peace with discomfort because they've seen what comfort costs. They've walked away from shallow applause to chase deeper meaning. They choose purpose over convenience. They choose truth, even when it isolates them. They choose growth, especially when it scares them. These are the ones who shift culture, who light up rooms, who breathe life into dead spaces, not because they are fearless, but because they move despite the fear. That's the kind of person the world is starving for. That's the kind of person you are becoming. Playing it safe is a lie, we tell ourselves, to avoid facing the discomfort of growth. It's a comforting illusion that promises security but ultimately locks us in a box. It whispers that we should avoid risk, stay within our limits, and keep our expectations low. Yet, deep down, we know that the most powerful experiences in life never came from following that path. When we choose to stay in the comfort zone, we avoid the very thing that makes us come alive, the thrill of stretching our limits, the exhilarating chaos of stepping into the unknown. True growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. It happens when we dare to take that first step into uncertainty, when we risk failure, vulnerability, and rejection in pursuit of something bigger than ourselves. Growth takes place in the uncomfortable spaces, those moments, when we realize we are capable of far more than we ever imagined, but only if we are willing to face the discomfort head on. It happens when we stretch ourselves beyond what we think we can do, testing the boundaries of our own potential. That's where we find out who we really are, who we can become, and what we can truly achieve. Growth happens when we face our fears, stare down the doubts that cloud our minds, and continue moving forward in spite of them. It's a relentless pursuit of better, even when progress feels painful. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it's scary. But the greatest rewards in life are always waiting for us on the other side of fear. And those rewards are not just the material ones, those fleeting wins. The real rewards come from becoming the person we always knew we could be, and realizing that we are capable of far more than we ever thought. Embracing discomfort is the key to unlocking our fullest potential. This is where true transformation begins, not in moments of ease and simplicity, but in the struggles and the adversity that we face along the way. The challenge lies in shifting our mindset, understanding that discomfort isn't something to avoid, but something to welcome. It's the very discomfort that allows us to transcend our current selves and reach new heights we never thought possible. When we stop running from what scares us, we stop limiting our growth. We give ourselves permission to expand beyond our perceived limitations. This shift in perspective can be liberating. Instead of seeing obstacles as barriers, we begin to see them as stepping stones opportunities for growth. It's through the challenges we face that we uncover aspects of ourselves that we didn't even know existed. We learn to tap into a well of inner strength and resilience, qualities that become essential as we continue pushing ourselves forward. The more we embrace discomfort, the more we realize that we are far stronger than we ever gave ourselves credit for. Every obstacle we overcome adds a layer to our resilience, preparing us for even greater challenges ahead. The process of embracing discomfort isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. It's through these very struggles that we discover our capacity for greatness. Each time we choose to face our fears, we prove to ourselves that we are capable of more than we ever imagined. The discomfort that once seemed unbearable becomes a tool for growth, a gateway to our greatest achievements. It's not the easy path that leads to success, but the hard, uncomfortable journey that reveals what we are truly capable of. When we stop making excuses, we unlock a power within ourselves that is truly unstoppable. Excuses are often rooted in fear, doubt, and the desire to avoid discomfort. They provide temporary relief, but they ultimately keep us stuck in a cycle of inaction. When we choose to break free from this cycle, we step into a new level of personal power. No longer will we allow fear, self-doubt, or external circumstances to dictate our actions or limit our possibilities. Instead, we take full responsibility for our life's every choice, every step, and every outcome that results from our actions. By doing so, we free ourselves from the chains of excuses and step into a place of full ownership over our future. Taking responsibility is not always easy, but it is essential for growth. When we recognize that we are in control of our lives, everything changes. We stop waiting for external factors to align perfectly and stop blaming others or circumstances for where we are. We begin to see that the power to create the life we want is within us, not in the hands of others or in the circumstances around us. The moment we stop making excuses, we realize that we are the ones responsible for our success or failure, and this realization is what propels us forward. Excuses no longer hold power over us because we understand that they are simply obstacles to the future we desire. We start to see them for what they truly are, distractions from the greatness we are capable of achieving. With each excuse we discard, we become more focused, more determined, and more confident in our ability to manifest the life we want. We have the power, and it's time we fully embrace it. By embracing our fears, we stop running from them, and instead we use them as powerful fuel to push us forward. Fear is a natural emotion, and though it often gets a bad rap, it serves a critical purpose, to alert us to potential danger or challenge. However, when we allow fear to control us, we become paralyzed, avoiding risks and opportunities that could lead to growth. But when we choose to face fear directly, we shift our perspective and begin to see it as something entirely different, something that propels us rather than hinders us. Instead of letting it hold us back, we use it to catapult ourselves towards success. Fear, when properly understood, no longer becomes an obstacle but a tool. It's no longer something that dictates our decisions or limits our potential. It becomes a signal that we're on the brink of something important. Each time we confront a fear, we realize that it has no real power over us. It's simply a feeling, an emotion that we can acknowledge but do not need to be controlled by. The more we face our fears, the less power they hold. And the more we push through them, the more confident we become in our ability to overcome any challenge. What we once saw as something to be avoided becomes something we actively seek. Fear becomes a signpost on the path to success, telling us that we are venturing into new territory, expanding our limits, and preparing for growth. Each fear we overcome is a victory that strengthens our resolve and deepens our belief in our own capabilities. So, instead of running from fear, we embrace I tend. With each step forward, we become unstoppable. Growth and transformation aren't born out of comfort or ease. They arise when we step into the unknown, when we put ourselves in situations that challenge our mental, emotional, and physical limits. It's easy to remain in the safety of what we know, to choose paths that require little effort and provide instant gratification. But true evolution occurs when we push beyond these comfortable boundaries, testing our resilience and expanding our capacity for strength. It's in these moments of discomfort that we uncover who we are meant to become. The times of struggle, the moments where we feel like we can't go any further, are the very instances that define our growth. It's when we're tested to our core that we discover what we're truly capable of. The easy way out may offer temporary relief, but it never brings the lasting transformation we seek. True growth lies in those moments when we push ourselves past what we think we can endure, when we make the conscious decision to keep going despite the internal resistance telling us to stop. Through these moments of struggle, we develop resilience, we build strength, and we uncover untapped potential. Each obstacle we overcome teaches us something new about ourselves. We learn how to face discomfort with courage and how to navigate through adversity with determination. These challenges serve as a mirror, reflecting the strength within us that we may not have even known existed. By continuously embracing discomfort and pushing ourselves past what seems possible, we begin to realize that the limits we thought were absolute are nothing more than illusions. Growth is not a linear process. It is often messy and uncomfortable. But it is in the discomfort that we find the seeds of transformation, ready to bloom into our best selves. The strength of the human spirit is a force that cannot be quantified. It is an energy within us that transcends all external limitations, pushing us toward greatness, even in the face of adversity. Our true power lies in our ability to tap into this inner drive, to trust in the force that resides deep within. It's easy to look around and feel overwhelmed by the challenges that surround us, to let the doubts of others or the failures of the past convince us that we're not capable of achieving something extraordinary. But the truth is that the only limitations we face are the ones we place on ourselves. When we connect with our inner strength, we realize that there are no boundaries to what we can accomplish. The human spirit is not bound by the physical or mental constraints that often seem to define us. It is limitless in its potential, capable of achieving what was once thought impossible. We often underestimate our abilities, only realizing our true power when we confront challenges head-on and refuse to back down. The key to unlocking this potential lies in belief in ourselves, even when it feels like the world is against us. This belief is not about blind optimism, but rather the quiet, unwavering confidence that we are capable of more than we give ourselves credit for. It's about knowing that even in moments of uncertainty, we have the strength to keep going, to keep moving forward. When we believe in our own potential, even in the darkest of times, we open ourselves up to achieving things we never dreamed possible. The human spirit is an untapped well of strength, waiting to be unlocked. And when we do, there's no telling how far we can go. The path to success is never a straight line. It is filled with unexpected challenges, hurdles that seem insurmountable, and moments where the goal ahead feels farther than ever. These obstacles can take many forms: personal doubts, external setbacks, or even the pressure to conform to societal expectations. But what we must understand is that it is not the absence of obstacles that defines success. Rather, it is our ability to face them head-on and continue moving forward despite the difficulties. The true measure of success lies in how we respond to adversity. Each struggle we encounter on our journey is an opportunity for growth. It is through overcoming these challenges that we discover our true capabilities. While the road may seem tough, every setback carries with it a lesson, teaching us resilience, patience, and the importance of perseverance. In these moments of difficulty, we are forced to dig deep within ourselves, drawing strength from places we never knew existed. And it is in these moments that our character is built, our resolve tested, and our determination strengthened. Success is not about avoiding obstacles, but about how we confront them when they arise. It is about the persistence to continue when the going gets tough, knowing that every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. The ability to stay focused on our goals, even in the face of adversity, is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who give up. In the end, it is not the smoothness of the journey, but the courage to persevere through the rough patches that truly defines success.